My name is Kishore Chandiramani and I work as a psychiatrist in Staffordshire, England. I'm going to talk about the unconscious mind in this session and the importance of confronting it. I've come across individuals who don't even believe in the unconscious mind. And my question to them would be, from where do the dreams come? And how do we explain psychotic breakdowns? You may have noticed that at times you can recognize a person you see, but you can't remember their name. And after a few seconds or minutes, the name pops into your mind. So where was the name hidden? Some may still argue that there is no unconscious mind. It's just the unattended part of the mind. We won't go into that discussion here. I found that some individuals believe that living out of the conscious mind is safe but stagnating. It's mundane, unexciting, and not cool. That's one reason why celebrities who have achieved worldly success want to experiment with illicit drugs and psychedelics. Exploring the unconscious is exciting and growth promoting, but it can be dangerous as well. In Hindu mythology, the awakening of unconscious mind has been described as the churning of the ocean, which brings forth the poison as well as the nectar. Similarly, when the unconscious mind is stirred up, it brings forth a number of diseases and at the same time new potentialities and positive energies that can lead to high levels of achievement and health. Sometimes onset of an illness is indicative of the mind-body system trying to purge itself of the negative energies. It's therefore desirable that the potential illnesses that lie dormant in the unconscious mind come forth and manifest themselves at the physical plane so that their negative energies can be dissipated. Once manifested, the duration of the illness depends upon its own negative force and also the strength of the positives in one's personality. For some, a muscle pull, a toothache, a tongue bite injury, or food poisoning stays only for a few minutes to a few hours, whereas for others it can last several days to several weeks. The positive energy can be defined as emotionally neutral consciousness, not just at the surface of the mind but deep down. Or if it is at the superficial level, it has to be turned inward, otherwise healing will not take place. Most diseases don't just originate, but exist in the unconscious mind. Someone who doesn't have access to their unconscious mind would be a passive sufferer of their illnesses. Those of us who can get in touch with their unconscious mind through their inner bodily sensations or through any other means can see for themselves how the negative energies are destroying the healthy tissue and functioning of the body and also the well-being of the mind, and they can fight with them. For this healing to take place, one doesn't need one's rational thinking or the data from the five senses. It's like your car that should become stationary if it has to be serviced. It can't be running at the same time be repaired. In the same way, one needs to pull one's mind away from one's five senses and the rational mind for this healing to take place. Scriptures tell us that we should withdraw our consciousness from the five senses and also from our rational mind, the way a tortoise draws its limbs into its shell to feel safe. It's not easy to pull one's mind away from all the distractions of the world and the rational thinking of one's own mind, as it constantly keeps thinking about things that one has experienced or things one is yet to experience. Watching your breath is a good way to take your mind away from all those distractions, as this activity in itself doesn't involve any thoughts or any emotions. Now let's examine the benefits of knowing our own unconscious mind, apart from the health benefits. The success of a good writer or a leader lies in their ability to say in words what is lurking underneath in the subconscious minds of people, which they themselves have experienced vaguely but have not been able to crystallize in language form. It's therefore very important that one is able to dip into one's unconscious mind and understand its mechanisms. Many scientists, poets, philosophers, writers draw their inspiration from their unconscious mind. The unconscious mind also keeps affecting our behavior, and it's therefore important that it gets worked on. Carl Gustav Jung, a famous psychiatrist and psychotherapist, has described confronting one's own unconscious mind as the most important task in one's life. People in most cultures, ancient and modern, have used psychedelic drugs to open up the unconscious mind. We see a lot of celebrities and people in the upper strata of our society wanting to experiment with drugs because they have experienced every other kind of happiness that the outside world has to offer, and they still feel unhappy. They are therefore searching for happiness inside their unconscious minds, and they end up using cocaine, LSD, psilocybin, mescaline and other hallucinogens. Using psychedelic drugs for psychotherapy has been described as opening up someone's abdomen for surgery and not knowing how to stitch it back, and it can create problems for the clients. We also find substance misuse more common among psychiatric patients, as they are trying to treat their own anxiety, depression, anger issues, and general unhappiness by way of using illicit drugs. It would be safer for them to go on prescription drugs or attend for therapy than take illicit drugs. Apart from the drugs, one can open up the unconscious by way of spending time in solitude or practicing some form of meditation. Whilst confronting the unconscious, one comes across the negative experiences first in the form of aches, pains, anxiety, depression, fear, anger, passion before experiencing ecstatic states. The practices of Sufism, shamans, Buddhist meditators, faith healers, Jewish Kabbalists, and Christian mystics also lead to altered states of consciousness. These non-ordinary states of consciousness are being explored, and the practices associated with them are being examined scientifically. It's therefore important that one makes exploration of one's own unconscious mind as one of the goals of their life, but without taking any psychedelic drugs. I hope you have found this helpful. Thanks for listening.